Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's
You sound like a little baby, man.
You are a baby. You're
I'm
saying you're a little baby.
You sound like a little baby.
You sound like a little baby.
You guys are babies.
Hey, no. Now that's a proper fade. You got it right this time. Even in our ears. Here we are. Another week later for you. Same outfit for us.
Here he goes
What was
again.
that? A little technical difficulty.
You know, I think
He's trying.
You know what he's being? He's being like FedEx right now,
Yeah, you're.
just to spite me.
That's what I'm just gonna. Should that be his nickname? FedEx.
Nobody loves you.
Oh, well, nice me bringing it up a week later. But our UPS person is awesome. So
I rarely get anything from FedEx. It's almost UPS if I can choose UPS.
I would too.
But because UPS, they're on it, man. When it's supposed to be there, it's there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like they're like the United Parcel Service or something.
Yeah, it's almost
like that's what they are.
It's almost like it's what they are. It's
like
the essence of who they are. What can Brown do for you? A whole hell of a lot if you give me enough time and enough requests.
That's exactly what.
I'll buy you coffee. Let's chat.
Shall we chat?
I'll let you know what Brown can do for me.
Oh, there's a lot that Brown can do.
And we're not talking about sheriff deputies either.
No,
They can't do much.
I was
going
going
to
to call them brown clowns.
Brown clowns.
You
Sheriff
ever heard
deputies?
that?
Yeah,
sure
I've heard that.
They have to have names for you know.
Ditch bitches. You know, we do the state troopers. So, hey, UPP. We
There's no good articles, man.
well, we're gonna read them anyway. Okay, so last episode, I kind of had a topic that I wanted to get to, but we did mail time, and then we did like week in review, and that was kind of like it. I mean, Dave needed to cool down after the FedEx story.
I know. I was heated,
visibly in
had
sweats.
He had me heated all over. It's like I had meat sweats.
Let's go to Texas de Brazil tonight.
Oh my
Let's
God.
get some meat sweats
Don't
on.
you start me. Don't you start it.
I'm kind of not that crazy hungry. Otherwise, I would actually, because I love that place.
Dude, I'm starving. I'm hungry.
Really?
Yeah.
I went and had a snack at 7-Eleven before we recorded because I was so hungry.
Oh my goodness.
And that now I feel full now.
Huh. Well,
So, whatever.
I worked last night. I came home. No, I didn't even come home. What did I do?
You work last night?
Oh, I worked out. I worked out this morning
Wait,
at the station.
what?
Yeah, I worked and then I worked out.
That's not what you do.
What do you mean?
Working out.
Oh, yeah, I do.
You literally, I've asked you this question before. Like, would you just exercise, like whatever? You're like, no, I'm too old for that. I just grapple. I just do jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I lied. I must have lied.
You definitely lied.
Didn't you see my Snapchat
I stopped working
last
out
week?
because of you. No, I don't watch your Snapchat though, Dave.
See, that's your
I
problem.
don't watch
I had-
stories
I
of
did-
anybody. I don't
I did
watch
a Sna-
anybody's stories.
Dude, you gotta
If you
start
don't
watching
send
mine.
me I'm too busy. I don't
How am I
watch
supposed
stories.
to send you anything? I don't know. How,
You send it to me too.
Fine.
You add it to
Will
your
you
story
actually-
and you add it to me.
Will you actually, if I send it to you?
I open everything you send me. I'm not gonna. I can't
Okay.
go out of my way to watch
No,
stories.
it was
I'm not doing
ridiculous.
it.
I was like, yeah, it was stupid. I was just, yeah. So yeah.
You get swole.
I don't get real swole. Well, yeah, you can see I do. But no, so I work out like I try to work out like once a week to try to like supplement like jiu-jitsu if I don't make it where because of overtime or whatever.
I just thought I would peg you as more calisthenics guy than a weights guy.
No, no, I don't like that at all.
Oh,
That
see,
sounds
I would
horrible.
rather just
Like calisthenics or jiu-jitsu.
run to the park, do some pull-ups, do some push-ups, run back home. Like
Yeah,
that's a good
horrible.
workout.
Ugh. I listen to the Rocky IV soundtrack. And
Well, that's
just lift weights.
So do I, and lifting weights is boring as can be.
I agree with the lifting weights thing. It just feels so pointless.
And you always imagine yourself getting angry and leaving in your high-end manual shift vehicle.
What is it? Was it a McLaren? That old?
Was it a McLaren?
Or was it a Lambo? I don't remember.
Ooh,
We could look it up.
I'm gonna go with Lamborghini.
I felt like it wasn't Lambo. It was way more.
What kind of
boxy,
car?
even
Look
more
this-
than the Countach, but
Look this up.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV vehicle,
Yeah, sports car.
and the cart in
Rocky's-
the cart
yeah,
in
Rocky-
Russia doesn't count.
Rocky's
This
sports
car-
car.
What kind of car did Rocky drive in Rocky 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
The little brother of the Lamborghini Countach.
Countach.
Countach, yeah.
See,
See?
he drives a '09 Kia Rio, so
Yeah.
car names aren't his thing.
I don't
Is that
care
the
about cars.
Lamborghini Quintush?
The Lamborghini.
Kahini?
I don't have a car
Kahini?
payment.
And
That's
hey,
all I care about.
I respect that.
Yeah. Well, I would rather have a car payment and have that fast car.
I'd rather get places on time.
I'd get
Maybe if you had a Lamborghini, you'd get here before 3.
I'd get sick bitches.
Diversity team would probably even approve of that.
Yeah. I'd bring some home to her.
Get the
With
door.
a Lambo,
the
you can do
door,
whatever you want.
Wait, the door either opens side or like it goes forward, right?
Oh yeah. It goes to the
Get in, hose. Yes, Daddy. What? What kind of dream is this?
Get in hose.
Yeah, get in, hose. You can call him anything you
Yes,
want if you got a
Daddy.
Lambo.
Because you have a Lambo.
Duh.
Yeah, thank you.
You can
God.
get away with anything. You
Dude,
could
I'm gonna
literally
try to go
kill
to Vegas.
You could kill the FedEx guy and drive away in a Lambo. You're not going to jail.
No, you're in a Lambo.
Duh.
I might drive a Lambo in Vegas.
When are you going to Vegas?
Hmm.
I drove. What did I drive? A Porsche?
What?
What kind of Porsche?
A Cayman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how do you like those?
It was fine.
Yeah.
I drove around the track fast and had some guy telling me what to do the whole time.
Oh yeah. No, for this one I want to rent. I want to rent it for 4 hours, depending on because I want to.
Be careful where you go though. Don't drive down the strip in it because you're wasting your time.
No. It would be out. Yeah. No, it wouldn't be
Out
like
in the
that at all.
mountains?
Yeah. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be like that. So yeah, because I want to take my brother out there.
There you go. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I heard you talking about Vegas recently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we wanted to take him out there and so. Ooh.
Sounding good. Are you having some now? Because are you done? with your
Yeah.
stupid,
No.
Speaking of Monster, who is the enemy
Of
me,
the enemy of Mike.
because MILLECOR supplements, including you can get Strikeforce Energy on there, pour in your water, which I did today.
Nice.
But
But I don't have any.
pre-workouts, proteins, T-Blast for testosterone. I know you need it, so you can get all that.
I'm low in the tea.
Follow the link millecor.com/MTC. They're being gracious to partner with us. Relentlessdefender.com/MTC. And guess what? If you like the t-shirt I'm wearing, Execute Cop Killers, or any of their shirts, don't tell anybody. Use the code Mike the Cop. Free shipping. You heard it here. That's right.
What about Black Rifle Coffee?
20% off with the code Thin Blue Line.
What?
And our sponsors are mentioned. They're not really sponsors, to be honest with you. They're just kind of like partners.
Yeah, they're partners because
They're doing nice
they're
things
awesome.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Because they like us.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the fact that they cut us $1 million check each week is.
Oh yeah, we
beside
don't
the
really
point.
actually work anymore. That's all made up.
No, for sure. So,
I only shaved because I'm just faking,
Because you look
faking
good.
going to work. Because I look amazing.
Because I look good shaved. Wait.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to smack a baby's butt. Sometimes you want to smack my face. Powder it up.
Shaved.
I have a lot of news stories.
Okay,
now.
so here's what we decided. I had this little hint of a topic that I wanted to bring up last episode. We never got to it. Shocker.
True.
But so we can just roll. I catch myself sometimes on how terrible. Wait, I catch myself mocking my own laugh, dude. It's so terrible. Like I have the freaking old man laugh, and I get
so
mad at my
good.
own laugh sometimes. And I catch this little
like father, like son.
don't
It's all wheezy and gaspy. Like you need so much help.
like I've been smoking my stogie that came in the PO box.
Those commercials of the people who have like the holes in their throat and they're like, "Don't smoke."
That's me.
You can hear the beep of like a heart monitor.
It's not anything like that, but
no,
but
pretty
very
close.
but very close. So I have this topic. So like we did week in review, which pretty much occupied the entire episode because you got so angry.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so
I
now
was angry
this
too.
week
Yeah,
is
thank
really it all comes down to in the news. But I mean I covered a few news things that I have in my head, but the topic comes from the news because there's just a trend that's really bothering the crap out of me, and I'll bring it up. But we decided we would let the underpaid producer look up real news stories and The Onion and give us the title, and we got to try to guess, is it real news or is it
Or
Fake
are
news.
all of them real, or are all of them fake?
Ooh.
Ooh. All right, I'm ready when you are.
You
What was the
don't
first
know.
one? What was the? Do you have it still?
No.
Oh, it was like Joe Biden is thrown out of a laundromat after shag carpet ruins machine or something like that.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, we're ready. I think.
Here's the first news article. Netflix cancels Jimmy Carter's World of Peanuts. After a 9-season run featuring the 39th President of the United States
9
exploring the
seasons?
history, manufacturing, and culture surrounding the versatile legume, Netflix
Legume.
announced Wednesday the cancellation of Jimmy Carter's World of Peanuts. Despite our great appreciation for President Carter's entertaining, informative celebration of all things peanut, we have made
They are
difficult
great,
decision
aren't they?
not to renew the series for the 10th season.
Well, if I wish they would have just gone with like 3 episodes in season 1, and that would have made it way more convincing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
The 9 seasons.
yeah, little much.
It was a little over
Yeah,
the top.
it's
I'm going to say
fake.
that's
What
onion.
if he's like, it's absolutely true.
It's
Wait,
absolutely
what?
true. I was kind of hoping it was. I kind of
Go
wanted to
back and
hear
just
that
watch
Jimmy Carter
it.
had 9
Oh,
seasons
yeah.
on Netflix that I missed about peanuts. Oh gosh. All right, what's up next?
All right, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Always.
Incredibles 2 forced to take out grisly cannibalism scene in order to secure PG rating.
I'm going to say that's a true one.
What would it be eating? An animal eating an animal? A person eating a person? A superhero eating a superhero? I guess I'm going to say because it sounds that outlandish, it might be true.
Honestly, I don't see what they find so offensive about this scene, said director Brad Bird. Which depicts a ferocious baby Jack pulling out and consuming coil after coil of a still living henchman's streaming intestines.
Oh my god.
Is that real?
No, it's
That's awesome.
Oh man, it got me.
That got me.
I'm surprised it got you guys. I'm
You
proud
got
of
me.
that one.
Yep, you did well.
Yeah, I don't know. Baby Jack gets kind of crazy when he changes
Yeah.
forms.
Oh, this is going to be a difficult one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Kanye West. I would have ridden away from a slave plantation on a motorcycle first chance I got.
Wow. You know what? I just don't put a lot of stock in him. I'm going to say it's absolutely true.
The dude's is he really crazy or is he truly a genius that knows exactly how to manipulate? He just sing a song
Either
about
way-
poo poo,
Yeah, either way,
and he's
either
killing
way,
it.
it's something that would absolutely
Doo doo
come from
poo
his
poo,
mouth.
whatever it is.
Whether he was
I can
serious or
see
not.
him saying that
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
The first chance he got. If the slave owner so much as fixed his lips to say something to me, I would have just hopped on my Harley and ridden to freedom. Charlie would have popped a wheelie
See,
through
this
the
is
cotton
fake.
fields
Yeah,
as
totally
I peeled
fake.
off too.
Once he says I hopped on my Harley, that's that.
No way he'd be
Yeah.
seen on a Harley.
You gave me too much. You gave us too much. I was
Yeah.
gonna go real on that
There
one,
you go. Yeah,
but you
it's
went
fake.
you went too far.
It's
You
fake.
read too much.
You're right.
We just got to get the headlines.
Give us something good.
Okay. Trump preemptively tells I don't know how
Melania?
Melon whatever.
I just
Melon-
told you, Melania.
Melatonin.
He won't give her a kidney.
What? Oh gosh.
It's got to be true because it's completely taken out of context for some reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, could be. True.
False.
Gosh.
I could so see it being true, and then like just that portion of it.
Right.
But like the 40 minutes before and the 40 minutes after are like heartwarming and like
Yeah.
something like, you know.
Okay, you ready for this next one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I've been doing horrible here so far.
Cash-strapped movie pass limiting new users to one movie filmed in CEO's backyard per month.
Wait, say it again.
What? Cash that movie Tash. I don't. What was that? What was that? tongue twister.
Cash-strapped movie pass limiting new users to one movie filmed in CEO's backyard per month. You know how there's all those new, like, you can pay a certain fee per month and
Yeah.
then you get to go to the movies or get a certain amount of movies a
That's
month.
fake.
It is fake.
It's the fakest fakety fake I've ever faked.
I only
Faking
have,
that.
like, 2 more of these.
Are you even trying to read real ones?
No, he hates us.
He
did get us a couple times, so.
He still got us. Yeah.
Yeah.
There really aren't any. Glimpse of father's toenails offers boy petrifying vision of future.
True.
I'm gonna say false.
Dave's right.
Everything's false.
I'm just saying true because I'm
Everything's-
waiting for one of them to
everything's
be
false,
true.
It's from The Onion. man.
Hey, I've tried that before.
Didn't work.
Okay, here's another one.
I tried that with a fear of testicles.
No, this is too fake. This is too fake. It's too easy. Yeah, I'm out of articles now. Unless you want to see one about
What does MSNBC say? Pull that up and read.
how 4 partners manage this macaroon company.
I would have said that's fake.
It's true.
See? I told you
Man.
MSNBC is just
pardons-
as good as The Onion
Trump
with titles.
pardons first African-American heavyweight champ Jack Johnson.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
sounds,
that's it.
Sounds fake.
All the other ones were born. Everything's about Trump and Korea right now.
I
Oh,
guess.
Literally
yeah.
everything.
Try to see.
You are fake news.
You are fake news. Oh,
That's it. That's all there was.
well, I
Sorry
guess
to let
it
you
is
down,
what it
man.
is.
This is a short show. All
a-
right. Well, end credits.
That's
We're out of here.
A short segment. Okay, so here's what bothers me in the freaking news these days is I'm a big believer, because this is reality, that truth is completely objective. People's perceptions may vary.
Right.
People's experiences may vary. For example, if the only experience you ever had with a cop was completely negative, you may have a perception that cops are a bad thing.
Right.
Doesn't mean that if everyone else in the world had never had a bad experience, that's not your experience. So that's your perception. Objectively, right, you can discern, okay, this isn't a normal problem. This was, a unique experience that this person had that was bad or unfortunate or illegal or terrible or whatever it is.
Yes.
So this
You're talking about as if you pull back and start pulling it apart.
Right. So
yeah.
Everybody's experiences. You may say like, oh, every time I've gone to Wendy's, I've never had a good Frosty or whatever. I've been there 27 times.
That's BS. I can already tell you that much.
And I may go, oh, really? I've never had a problem, right?
Oh, by the way,
What?
I found a while ago a recipe for Wendy's Frosties, man.
Did you make it?
No, I just found the recipe.
What?
Get out.
Would you make? Let's make a YouTube video of that, trying to make a Wendy's Frosty at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it, dude.
Yeah. That's a good
We need
point.
to buy a kitchen.
We live in
We need a
homes.
studio with like a kitchen in there.
I don't even know.
Where's
what
he
just
going with
happened.
this?
Yeah. I don't even know.
We have a mildly tiny following
You
on a
bare-
podcast.
barefoot
We
Contessa
can't afford
here?
a kitchen.
I know I'm severely underpaid. Take some of my give me a pay cut and just pay for a kitchen.
Okay, fine.
Can I even really cut your pay on this program?
No,
Do any of us make money on this podcast?
He's like,
we don't.
no.
No,
We don't make.
no.
any
We
money.
literally make nothing. So we
I concur. We do not.
we just
But
got
it's a hell of a time.
Sling Studio. We got that to be able to do stuff. So well, yeah.
got the Sling
Right.
Studio.
Well, let's not get off too
yeah,
far
okay.
off the topic.
Not too
here.
far off topic.
So,
Yeah. So it spirals out from there, right? So objectively, you may be able to say, well, this is real facts about it. The machines only go down so often, or they only have, there's a fact about it. Much like you see in, let's say, a car accident. You look for witnesses, right?
Yeah.
Some person may not have, from their perspective, it may appear one way.
Yeah. Oh,
From somebody
yes.
across the street, it may have appeared. Somebody might have only heard something. Now, the way that society says is, well, that is the truth. To them, that's the truth. No, it's not. The truth is if you had a camera above, a 360 camera, and you could replay the whole thing, you would see the truth.
Right.
The truth is what really happens. The truth is what is real, and our perceptions are where we fall short from agreeing with what is actually true, or agreeing with it, or where we find fulfillment by agreeing with the truth. Now, I'm not going to wax all completely philosophical, but that at the end of the day, truth is objective. Our experiences are what vary. Our perceptions are what vary, and we should strive to always have our perceptions and our experiences walk that much closer to the truth.
We ought to. Yes.
We ought to, right? So what stood out to me this week is when I did a video about this, ranting about this live on YouTube, because it pissed me off, and it's because it's consistent. in the news.
That's
is
a problem.
Is Trump calls MS-13 animals, and then Nancy Pelosi says, well, he must not believe in the spark of divinity and humanity, which is crazy coming from her in the first place since she believes in abortion. So you're like, wait a second. That's how you lose
friends,
people are
Mike.
like, hey, you don't believe abortion. Let's leave the abortion issue aside. What I'm saying is she's contradicting herself because a cornerstone of the pro-life philosophy is the spark of divinity in a fetus, right? So she's using her own argument against herself without realizing it, and she takes him completely out of context and purports something to be true that's simply not. She basically purported a lie. Now, I don't care.
Without a doubt.
If you're Nancy Pelosi, whoever you are, I don't care who you are. If you took that out of context and you lied about it and then you run with it, that's only a danger to the First Amendment because you're an irresponsible journalist. But you're a liar. Stop it. It's not true. And that doesn't mean I agree with Trump on everything he says. I think the guy's a narcissistic fool sometimes.
Right.
That doesn't matter. Sometimes does he always speak the truth? No. But my point is there is always something that's true, and we have to look at what people say and compare it with the truth, which is objective.
Well, you could say the same thing about when we talk about parachuting into Scripture. It's the same thing.
Yes.
There's this element of so we take these small portions and just kind of generalize and kind of just twist them to our own will, right?
Yeah, you can do that with anything. And I even put up on my Instagram today, truth is objective. Changed my mind. A little Lotta with Crowder action there.
Yeah.
And some people legitimately don't get it. They're like, yeah, well, but everybody's perspective. You're missing the point. The
completely.
Truth. You're missing the point, and you're proving my point that today's society is so crippled with an inability to think critically about about objective information. And that is so. When we talk about in the news, it's like this eats me up. This eats me up.
That's part of it. So
yes,
I had a interesting discussion. Sorry, Matt.
Matt, whoever you are,
Matthew.
Matthew.
So I may have been doing some martial arties, and I got in a discussion with a guy about. He was talking about his CPL. And how
that's a concealed pistol license for you non-Michiganders.
Yes,
CCW.
Yeah. So I'm just a little nervous after because of that guy in Vegas that got shot in that hallway, the hotel. Remember we did a video on that.
Yes, Matthew Shaver,
which was interesting because
Daniel Shaver. I'm sorry, Daniel Shaver.
Which I thought was interesting because we had discussed it, I think, to almost ad nauseum. We really tried to pull it apart.
We broke that thing down
as much as we could, right? And so, and in the end, we both said it was a horrible situation, and there was some horrible commands being put out. But in the end, it was a good shoot,
right?
And people disagreed, and I'm sure we'll get more hate comments about that. That's fine. I get that because everyone's very passionate about that. Well, he was passionate about it, and I said, wait, what are you talking about?
Right.
Well, because the way the police did that to him. I mean, I go, actually, it's pretty interesting that you say that. I said, don't get me started on that if you don't want to have an actual discussion here. He said, what do you mean? And I said, okay, because that's as soon as you say, what do you mean? Now we're talking, right?
Okay, here we go.
And so he was basically saying like, well, yeah, but the guy didn't have any gun. And then he starts. I said, well, okay, and so I brought up a different thing a little bit later to show him how that's a silly comment to make,
right?
And so he's like, yeah, I mean, because he had kids and I was like, stop. I go, what does that have to do with the situation at hand?
Absolutely.
So this is where we start losing that, right? That fabric of critical thinking. So he's trying to validate his point, and it's not working. And so I'm hammering on it because I'm like, look, you don't have to believe that it was the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm just telling you, by the standards of the law, this is what and so it was very, because he's like, well, the guy was fired. The kid was fired, and I said, well, actually, that all happened well after the fact, after the media came down on the whole thing, and so that they went politically correct. Now, again, whether the kid was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. We're not even going to discuss that part. But so this was my discussion with him, and so we're talking about, and this is again is what's subjective, what's objective? And we're talking about this, and I'm like, well, what about that guy that man who was walking around, I forgot what city it is, and this just happened somewhat recently, with a shower head, and he kept pointing at people.
Right.
Like 5 different calls came out that this guy had a gun.
Yeah.
And so because Matt says, well, all that guy did was he got killed for pulling up his pants. And I go,
what?
Oh, okay, because the guy in Vegas, you know.
I was like, the showerhead guy.
So the showerhead guy, I go, well, you're right. I said, well, what about that? We get 5 calls about, well, that's different. I go, why? I go,
why is
you
it
realize?
different?
I go, you realize that man was brutally murdered because he had a shower head in his hand. That's it.
Yeah.
And
he
so,
had family.
Yeah,
that
he
loved
had family
him.
that loved him, and he had some mental issues. So I said, so really, all you had was a poor mentally challenged man with a shower
Why
head.
didn't the police get out and give him a Rorschach test?
Yeah,
Ask him what he saw.
So he all of a sudden he can't respond, and so because again it gets lost. And so when it came down to the whole thing, I was talking about statistics and all this other stuff because he's like, well, because in general, cops are, more not violent, but he said something to that extent of aggressive and all that stuff. I go, where do you get that? Like I said,
where does that come from?
Statistic?
Yeah.
It was corrupt. He said corrupt.
Oh.
And I said, because they have more of a propensity to be corrupt. And I said,
really?
Wow, where did you get that? And he goes,
I've seen YouTube.
and this is a smart guy. It was worse, Mike. He's a smart guy, and he's a what you would consider a Republican, a pretty diehard Republican. But this is what he said. He goes, "Well, I saw Serpico," and I go,
"You kidding me?"
I'm not kidding, Mike. He said it.
He meant this. This wasn't a joke.
I'm not kidding, Mike. I go. Wait. You're the guy who gets your facts from memes about Norway. Like,
oh my goodness! I saw Serpico.
I know. He goes, but it's true. And I go,
hey, did that make the list when we talked about the greatest cop movies?
No,
of all
it
time,
didn't.
by the
But
way?
it should have. Actually, it was
Dang
a great movie. So I just right away you're going. What am I supposed to say to a guy like this who has
I have found
this
happened with that little.
Sorry,
rant,
Matt.
This little rant that I did in part of the show yesterday on YouTube. Somebody's like, basically, oh, you showed your hand. Like you normally you're objective. That you showed your bias and whatever else. I'm like,
I can't have an opinion?
Hold on a second. Like, show me where what I said was factually incorrect. Let's forget our opinions. First of all, I'm not a Republican. I've never registered.
Right.
I don't pin me into a corner because I've been very vocal that I'm libertarian-ish.
Yeah.
Like I kind of I try to think for myself. I'm not a party member, but listen, what did I say that was factually incorrect? I'm not talking about how I color things with sarcasm or how I make jokes. I'm talking about what I'm asserting as true. Show me where it's not, right? And then the conversation ended because they can't do that, right? So you either have to admit, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong, or you have to be able to prove me wrong, in which case I will say, I'm sorry, you know what, you corrected me.
Or run away and not respond at all.
Run away and not respond at all.
Yeah.
And go back, and I'm always willing to admit where I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because go back to the video I did to Plies the Rapper. I did my math wrong, and I had some percentages off by two decimal places. I literally pinned my own self saying, hey, somebody pointed out that I did these numbers wrong. Here's the corrected numbers. My bad.
You
it's
stand
still
corrected, and
my
that's,
point. My point still stands, but the numbers were off.
Yeah.
And here's how. Here's why. So, you point out my factual problems for sure. But this is what we should all be committed to, because here's the reality. I'm not perfect. Shocker. Dave is, but he's a rarity.
It is rare. It's a gift.
But we should all be striving, especially those in the news, right? Like they always talk about the responsibility cops have. And the news has a responsibility that's very, very essential to our First Amendment. And they need to take this crap serious, man. They can't just fly off the cuff. I mean, this is not op-ed pieces all the time.
This isn't off the cuff podcast.
This isn't off the cuff. You can't just make it up like we do. So, it comes down to this,
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, fine. That's whatever. I'll pour my own.
Well, I can still see you're not done yet, so that's
Well, yeah. I'll add a little bit to it. But anyway, hey, can we get a You Can't Handle the Truth drop? I need that right now. I need a little Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth. Because this is what it is. People are afraid of the truth. They want to stick in their tribe more than they want to line up.
You can't handle the truth.
There you go. There you go. State of the art drop right here.
I've been, and I was on my phone. I've been looking for this this quote from V for Vendetta, I think it fits perfectly in here. And of course, I don't know why I can't find it because it was on a meme, so you know it's true.
Of course it is.
It's so dumb. So, but yeah, we can continue on it because the whole critical thinking, we know it's almost non-existent. We've talked about this before about again the whole like facts that are just thrown on memes and like as if they're true.
Well, of course it's true.
And,
yeah, because it's on the internet.
Yeah,
I literally have had people like it's so terrible. Like, how do you know this to be true? Well, I've seen enough videos on YouTube. I'm like, are you literally saying that if you can't find a video of something on YouTube that it can't exist?
right.
Is that what you're what you're asserting? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying.
It's
that if you haven't
depressing.
seen it, try to, especially, I obviously think a lot about the cop world because that's the focus of my content, and this just drives me nuts because I'm convinced that anybody that is a rational thinker, that is someone who is actually someone willing to listen, I can fully accept that someone has had negative experiences with the police.
Absolutely.
Of course you have. They're like, oh, you admit it? The cops, there's bad cops. Well, yeah, because we're human. There's bad everything. Like, so this is not a shocker to me.
Yeah.
I just don't blanketly support like every action every cop everywhere ever has done. That's asinine.
That's ridiculous.
But what isn't ridiculous?
That's like supporting FedEx.
Yeah, who does that? But the reality is that if you took every officer with every contact, excuse me, that they make on a daily basis, and you total that up, how many of those make YouTube? Almost none of them.
Yeah.
Literally a statistical non-existence of how many of the contacts that happen with people. It's only what can drive, and that's what bothers me about news is, okay, report things, but you've got to put things in perspective when you report things, because otherwise,
and it's not that hard to do.
You're purposely distorting something for the purpose of driving a narrative to fill ad slots or whatever it is that you're doing. And this is like the Fox News thing, the CNN thing. Everybody knows Fox is red, CNN's blue, whatever. Like, what happened to just being able to watch the nightly news and trust that the information you're getting is like a reporting of the events as they unfolded?
Yes.
Like, where is that? And it's sad to see that. I mean, and now, watching the nightly news isn't even really a thing anymore. So now it's all social media, and only God knows what sources you're. There's so many sources now of people purporting to be, report the news, and we just lost that ability to critically think. And I don't think we're teaching our kids how to critically think something through.
I almost feel like we should run an experiment, meaning start a fake news site, not The Onion, but something that actually puts out real fake news, like DC Post, like,
size of DC rats have doubled in the last 3 years.
No, like DetroitNewsPost.com. And then, like, when people, like, it just happens to come out, oh, look at this article from, DetroitNewsPost.com. You know what I mean? Something that sounds legitimate.
Yeah.
And you just throw them the biggest bunch of garbage and see how far it travels and what kind of comments you can get and how many shares you can get, because you will get them. It's without a doubt.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So
there's like that whole thing about swallowing 8 spiders a year, per year, is completely fake. It was a test to see how lies can spread through social media.
Oh my goodness,
news.
yeah, absolutely. Especially if they're on a meme that's catchy.
Yeah, about Norway.
What
But
do
this
we
is the one
have
about
here?
the V for Vendetta. Truth is truth, even if no one believes it.
Yeah.
A lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's exactly that's what I was thinking about, like that.
Where's
that's what you're
the
talking
drop?
about.
Where's the drop?
The what?
The drop.
For what?
You can't
Oh
handle
my
the truth.
Up, whoop, whoop.
You can't handle the truth.
There we go. State of
I
the
feel
art.
better now. Yeah, state of the art. State of the art.
Oh, I actually re-recorded that. It's my voice.
No, it sounded great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, well, I think that's interesting because, again, we relate that to police work so often, right? Because we see in the news, oh, the cops get the bad rap here, and you mentioned it that there are bad cops out there, and you actually just did a video recently, like, hey, this turd was out there and should never even had a badge, but nobody wants it. Like, it's we're so quick to like shore up a side and like this is what I believe and. We have to take sides.
Pick their tribe.
It's such
tribe over
weird.
truth.
It's such a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Because like you have to. As long as I agree with 51% of it, I'm in this tribe.
And what makes it difficult is when you assert something that's true, that let's say that it tends toward what conservatives would promote, but it's true. Then you're accused of, oh, I knew you were a conservative. I knew that you did this. Whatever. Or if you said something that would maybe. What just happened over there? You okay?
Yeah.
You stroke out?
I do not think he's okay.
Call help. What is going on?
Somebody get him help. I'm not helping him.
I don't even know CPR.
I faked my way through that whole thing.
I slept through that class. If you say something that would normally be associated with left leaning, and then people say like, "Oh, you're soft," or "Oh, you're whatever," like. But they're speaking out of their own tribe rather than like looking at what you're saying for what it is. I mean, people lost their minds when all I said was, just because abortion is legal doesn't make it right.
Correct.
That's all I said.
That was a
People
big deal for
lost their minds. And guess what they did? They assumed what position I took.
Yeah.
All I did was state something that was inarguable.
Right.
You cannot dispute what I just said.
No, absolutely
It is
not.
impossible for me to be wrong.
Right.
By saying that.
It just stated a fact.
Just because something is law doesn't mean it's right.
Right. And there's been many examples of that.
Right. So somebody would be like, what's funny is you catch people. And when you're in conversation, it's a lot easier than social media because you know who's great to have that conversation with is somebody who's pro-weed. Because then they're like, legalize it. Yeah, but that doesn't make it right. You want to, like, oh, wait, I see what you did there. Like,
right.
You're talking about the complexity of morality and legality.
Yeah. And
there's a little dance that happens there. We could go on and on with these examples, none of which are really super humorous. I mean, normally we're like,
yeah, right.
Whatever.
Well, I think a good example of that was when we talked about the school shooting and the walkouts and should teachers be armed.
Yeah.
So we had a guest on there who admittedly leans more left.
Yeah, admittedly.
And brought up some really good points about things that that I think that we should all discuss. He was a guy who didn't feel comfortable doing it, and I was and honestly I know teachers who I think would be really like I think they would do well to protect students, but I can't. Right. If we're just talking about an overall feeling of it, I'm not really comfortable with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't dispute that there are some people there are teachers out there that are more highly trained than me with a weapon and probably like splash themselves with cold water before they go shoot and maybe like do circles with a baseball bat.
Probably like super tactical.
Yeah, I mean they're
accurate.
out there. Right?
Oh yeah,
so good, but
they train way more than we have time for.
Right. So when he spoke, there were people that came down really hard on him.
Yeah, he's a pansy or
whatever.
Was
really surprised.
That
actually surprised me a lot because I think that and anybody can respond to a video, but because our fans are usually really good, and that's why I said I really think anybody can respond to a YouTube video. But again, it was like nobody wanted to even listen. Like at that point, that person, whoever that was, or people they weren't listening to what he had to say. And when you're listening, listen to what he was saying. He's saying, besides a couple of actually like really important factual things that I wouldn't have thought about because he's actually in the system.
Yeah.
That a man that says he doesn't feel comfortable doing it, why would you call him a pansy, or weak or whatever, because he doesn't feel comfortable doing something like that. Now, he didn't say he didn't want to protect the children under his care.
Right.
He just said he doesn't feel comfortable with that way to do it. He would do his due diligence to do what he could.
But people sometimes hear exactly what they want to hear.
Right. And
no matter what you say.
I never met him ever before this, and you've known him. But you could already tell that he was a compassionate guy. That he was actually very passionate about the subject, about the kids, and like. But people were just like crapping. I'm like, what is going? Like, can we not just accept? Like, it's just weird to me. And I know we kind of that's a little bit off the subject of critical thinking, in a way. But
well,
you know.
I tend to have the conversations when I try to pick and choose. I can't keep up with every comment on YouTube or Facebook. It'd be impossible. I'd never leave a device. I'd have to be on there all the time. So it's not an option for me. So it just depends on what's going on in my life at the time, how engaged I can be.
Yeah.
I tend to be highly engaged on Instagram and highly engaged on YouTube, typically. But the thing is, if in person, I typically would ask somebody like, let's just say, like, are you open to your mind being changed at all? And if they say no, I'm like, okay, well, we don't have to talk about that then, because why are we pushing? There's no reason for me to vomit out words on a table that you just want to wipe off.
Yeah.
Because can you admit that you don't want to change your mind? Or if you say, I'm open to hearing a different point of view and why, then we can have a conversation. And then we can say, okay, well, what is it that you would need to see in order to have your mind changed? And then you can kind of like mark these stones out across to get across the river, so to speak.
Yeah.
And oh, okay, now I can see this. You know, sometimes you have to show people something, but they're only going to see it if they want to.
Well, you bring up a good point of like, what would change your mind? I think what that does also is it actually gets people thinking anyway. So at that point when they say, well, it would take this, this, and this, all of a sudden the person who actually asked the original question is going, that's an interesting take on that. Like I guess I never thought about what it would take to change somebody's mind or at least get them engaged and thinking about things. Right. So again, very, very interesting. I mean, look, even just the last video we did about 380s. There was a lot of people. They're just, again, we talked about, and we even made a point about the whole fanboy thing, whether it's caliber and there's people like, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I don't. Fine. If you want to say that, that's totally fine.
No, we know this is the thing. Like, no, I know exactly what I'm talking about because we were specifically saying what we prefer.
Yeah, we're just saying
this
what
is
we
all
prefer.
What we're saying.
And some people brought up some really really good points, and then there are some people who obviously just want to
you can be like, oh, you know what, I didn't think about that. I'm gonna add that in. I'm gonna think that through.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh.
Yeah, and
that's a good thing to think about. And then in my next gun purchase or my next, ammunition choice, oh, I didn't know that. You know, like you can learn, you can grow, you can change.
I agree. One of the biggest things for me was like they talk about the clip.
Yes,
and which was funny because I think some people got the wrong idea, but the clip just takes the place of the holster. It's not a magazine clip,
right?
The magazine is a magazine. The clip it attaches to your pistol and you put it in. And then people
are like, it's called a magazine, not a clip.
Yeah, and not just that, but people were really upset. Like, that thing the trigger needs to be covered at all times. And they were upset about like that I don't carry a trigger cover on it or anything. I'm like, okay, it's not for everybody, I guess. If you're weak and feeble-minded, I suppose you can't handle it. No, but like they're like, it'll get caught. Like I'm thinking, who do you let near your crotch that often? That it's going to be, that people are, but there's constantly people poking sticks at your dick. I don't know. It was weird, but I was like, hey, it's not for everybody, man. That's fine. I've carried it like this for a while, and matter of fact, when I came up in Detroit, the only way people carried their pistol was in their waistband. That was the only way we carried
I
our
remember
pistol.
asking my brother, like, how do you carry your gun off duty? This is like when he was in the Detroit Academy. He's like, well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with the answer. He said Mexican style. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
He's like, he lifts up his shirt. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, that's how we carried it.
And I did for the longest time. The only time, if I carry my full size gun, that's exactly how I still carry it. If I have my smaller one with that holster that I've shown on videos, that holster is soft enough and
people
perfect.
made fun of
I
that
put
holster.
Put it in the waist.
They said a $5 holster. They were like, how could you even like? Now
I love that holster.
They were like, now I know you're not. Now I know you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm like,
I have a Kydex holster too.
Can you not enjoy the whole like?
See, I didn't even see a lot of comments on that.
Because
I have to
go back to some of them, but
I have to
some
go back
of
in
them
and
were
read
just
more.
Hilarious. And then there was people like, I was like, look, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is what's comfortable for me. And then some people were like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. For me, I can. For me, like again, you're looking back. You're trying to
Right.
pull out and get in there. But
Right.
I've
So this
carried
is like-
I've carried a gun for a long time, and I've
Yeah.
never had an issue.
Right.
Could I? I don't know. I suppose.
You're like, yeah, how many
guarantee I
times
could
have
rip.
you-
I could rip your pistol from your Kydex holster too if you want me to.
How many people have you been in a gunfight with?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, we don't even have to talk about that. It's just a matter of like, it's just what you're comfortable carrying. I mean, that's just well, all right, you know.
So I guess when it comes to the news, that's what bothers me all the time is that like you get these things that are in the news, but people are too lazy to compare what they're being told with maybe what actually happened.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you're gonna agree with me 100%. I don't think
I already do.
Thank you very much. It'll be 9 years of being in law enforcement in July, and in those 9 years, I have never seen a story. Again, this is one of those things where this is my experience. In the vast picture of things, it could be not true. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Perfect example.
In my experience, I have never once seen a situation that I've been involved with, whether it was a car crash, a report I took, a court case I was involved with, cases that I was very close to that I saw covered in the news. I have never once seen one news piece in video, in print, or online that has ever been accurate.
No,
100,
no.
like in all of its details, gave the actual truth.
No.
I've never seen it. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. This is my point. My experience. I keep up like, you were on the news. Oh, really? Yeah, the helicopter was over top, whatever. Like and I look and I read and I'm like, that's not what happened.
Not. You know what? I agree 100%. And I guarantee that
it happens like every time that I'm in the news.
Almost every
it's
police
not
officer
right.
would have to
I'm like,
agree.
no, that's not why I was there.
And
that's not what happened.
A lot of times it's not even close.
Sometimes it is not even close.
Not even.
I literally sat in a murder trial, and I read the paper at night, like online for the recap. They had a reporter in there. They had all kinds of reporters in there. I sat through the whole trial, about 2 weeks. Every night they did a little recap. Every night. Not what happened. Like literally, like witnesses said. I was like, "Were you not in the same courtroom?" I was like, "That is not what was said. That's not what was inferred." I'm like, "What were you doing?" Whoa, this was not it. But we have laziness, I think, not just journalists, but consumers of information. We're just lazy.
Yeah.
Like we got to look at, compare the truth to our perceptions, our experiences, and say, yep, I understand what my perceptions and experiences are. I want those to mirror the truth as much as possible. That's what my goal is
Right.
to live true. And that's like really important for me, I think.
Yeah, not to everybody.
It should be-
You're by yourself, and so enjoy
I'm
your island.
I'm on an island of truth.
I will sit cross-legged.
You
on
know,
island of
you
truth.
just think you know it all, don't you?
That's how that goes.
That's how somebody's going to perceive this. Oh,
Yeah.
you think you're always right. I know your kind.
Yep.
No, I don't think I'm always right. I think like I want to be right.
I'm willing
that's
to
it.
admit when I'm wrong. That's the difference, right? I want to, like, if I'm wrong, I want somebody to tell me in a respectful way that I'm wrong, and so that I can correct that part of it.
Yeah, show me
you
when I'm
know?
wrong. It's like I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Now, if you don't like my if you don't like my sense of humor,
That's different.
If you don't like my presentation, you can just keep on moving along. That ain't going to change because
Yeah.
that's my personality. You know.
Dumb comment. I'm out of here. Why did you comment in the first?
Okay.
Yeah.
You drastically overestimate your value in the comment section there, sir. Unfollowing.
Still liked it, though.
Unfollowing.
Yeah. This one didn't catch me. Unfollowing.
Normally I like your stuff, but after seeing this, I'm not watching any of it. Okay, so you normally like me, but I say one thing you don't like and disagree with, and you're leaving.
Maybe
What's
that was the
stupidest
straw
thing ever?
that broke the camel's back. Mike.
No, if they didn't say that though. They
No,
don't
but
say this is the straw. I've had enough of you. Finally, this is like no. I've
finally
loved everything you've done until you disagreed with me. Now I hate you.
Normally I'm a fan. This one got me. Unfollowing. What?
Wait, what?
We were talking about cats. I don't know. Where did it come from? You know.
So I will tell you this: in our future in the news segments, we're going to report hard facts. That's what we're going to do.
very hard.
So hard facts.
They're going to be the hardest that you ever
Our facts
felt.
have erections lasting longer than 4 hours. I'll tell you that right now. We don't, and we don't call a doctor.
No.
Just keep on going with
Go.
facts.
Go, Dr.
Cold,
Dr. Feelgood.
hard facts.
Go, Dr. Feelgood.
Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Let's cue that up as our
Do it
last
up.
drop.
Do it up.
But we can only play like 6 seconds or so.
That's all that matters.
Fair
That's all you
use.
need to
Yeah.
rock out.
But he's not gonna get the good part. He's gonna get the opening.
Oh no, he's gonna screw it up completely. Watch.
Like
It's already taken him
Motley
forever.
Crue. Is that a gang? Is that like MS-13?
It's CRUE.
What part of it should I?
It don't matter. Just go right
Just
in
go
there.
to it. Just random. Just hit random.
38 seconds in. Boom.
Yes. Let's go 38.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I've been ready.
Oh, this is anticlimax.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. This is who we call for our news.
Yeah, we call Dr. Feelgood
That's still the opening.
for our
Still
hard
the opening.
news.
Go-
I can't.
Go a little bit further in.
All right.
Now it's
Do it. Man, I love Motley Crue, man.
yes.
Yeah.
No, I can't play it for
Go a
too
little bit
long.
longer.
One last one.
This is our podcast. It doesn't matter.
We do what we want.
It's not monetized.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be your Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. That's awesome.
All right. Well, that's our boy. We got some soapboxes there for a while.
Yeah, good. We were always right. Everyone else is
We're always
wrong.
right. You're wrong, and that proves it.
Yeah.
And that settles it.
Changed my mind.
Unfollow, bitches.
I'm always
Get
right.
in.
Changed
Get in,
my
hoes.
mind.
We're on the truth train. Get in, hoes. Choo choo. That's a good way to round this out. You can't-
Hop in, bitches. We,
it's fixing to get truth up in here.
hop
All right.
in, hoes. We on the truth train. Oh, man.
Woo! All right, until a week from now, I guess, when you listen to this, but 2 weeks for us. Woo! At least 3, maybe 3 weeks. I don't even know. I don't know.